Alrighty, so my name's Stephanie. Welcome to Brain Training with PD Active. This month, March and April, we're working on concepts and skills and neurological integration to improve balance. Balance has a few different components to it, which we went more in depth last week, but I am going to flash up on the screen the components of balance that we talked a little bit more, like I said, more at length last week. So for balance training, we have the component of the vestibular. So this is the sensory organ that lives in your inner ear that helps us relay messages to the brain from inputs from our eyes and our head. So kind of like what is level per se is what your vestibular system is responsible for conveying. Proprioception is understanding where your limbs are in space, the map of the brain of your body. For balance, we also need reflexes and reaction time. So when you start to lose your balance or trip on something, your reaction time on creating a better footing is important. Your ability to weight shift from right to left, right foot to left foot, and then also weight shifting on the forefoot and the heel. Again, that goes with the reaction, being able to feel a force coming into us and then appropriately weight shift and react. And then ankle mobility and accommodation. We talked a little bit about this last time. We're going to work on a little bit more today, is your ability to kind of like, if you were sitting, walking or standing on uneven terrain, how does your foot and your ankle accommodate for that uneven terrain without putting you fully off kilter? So if you can accommodate down below in the foundation, you'll be able to sort of keep yourself upright. So without going into so much detail about each of these, I just wanted to flash them up to remind those of you that the class today is going to address most, if not all of these. And I'm not going to explicitly tell you when I'm doing each of these, but if there's an exercise that you're thinking, oh, I don't understand what this has to do with balance, we can come back to this list and say, oh, that would slip into this category here. Okay. All righty. Today, make sure that you have your eye tracking device, a pen or a pencil, and then a foot release tool. A tennis ball works great, a dryer ball, something round. You can even use like a can of hairspray or something round and ideally it has a little bit of a give, but if it's hard, that's okay too. We are going to start with your foot preps. So I'm going to bring the camera down to my feet. You get to see my lovely feet. And we're going to work through those foot release drills. So taking your ball on the floor, and you can do this seated or standing. If you can stand and hold on to a chair, I find that works best. So we're going to take the ball and just place it underneath your foot. And we're just going to smash. Letting the ball go up and down on the foot. And the idea with this too is to let the bones and the tissues wrap around the ball. Okay, so we're separating. And the idea with this is we're trying to get the foot to be wider, a bigger base. The bigger you can make the base of your foot on the floor, the better, right? Bigger bases has better balance. And there's no real rhyme or reason to it. You're just going to squish the ball. That's why it's nice to have a little bit of give in the tool that you're using. Tennis ball is almost my favorite tool there. I've got a bunch in my bin over here, but this is the one I picked up today. And if there's a particular area in your foot that feels like it needs just a little bit extra attention, you can spend that extra time there. And then finish with that ball right under the metatarsals, or the ball of your foot. So the ball is right underneath the ball of your foot. We're going to wrap the toes over the top of the ball and then lift your toes up off the ball. So you're trying to flare them. And that's what the toe spacers are nice for. It helps with that flaring. And then you're going to wrap your toes over the top of the ball, squeeze, almost like grab the ball with your toes, working the intrinsic muscles of your foot, and then release. Good. And we're going to do that about 5 more times. Squeeze, pulling up on the arch of the bottom of the foot, and then release. Squeeze and release. Nice. 3 more. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Very nice. Last one. Squeeze and release. Beautiful. Nice job. From here, having your ball just off to the side for now, I want you to lift up onto the balls of your feet. So give yourself kind of like a Barbie high heel, and then lower the heel back down. Again, you can do this seated or standing. Wherever you are though, I do want you to make sure that you're pushing down through the toes. So you're not just lifting your knee up, right? You're putting that pressure down into the floor through the ball of your foot and then releasing down. See how high you can get that heel. 2 more. And last one. Beautiful. And then this next one, you may want something to hold on to, so just gauge for yourself. We're going to place the foot behind us. See, there's people coming in. Behind us, see if you can get the tops of your toenails to come down onto the floor. And you're going to roll from right to left. So big toe side of the foot and the pinky toe side of the foot. And I have freakishly flexible feet, so yours probably do not look like mine. It may look something a little bit more like that, but we're just going to work on stretching the top of the toes, kind of like flexed back. Okay. If you want more aggressive stretch, you slide that foot closer to the other foot and put a little bit more of your body weight through it. Again, this is where holding onto a chair might be helpful, especially if your feet are kind of tight. Good. And then that foot, we're just going to stomp it out. Make some noise, get the vibration through the muscles and the bones. Good. Now go ahead and stand just one foot next to the other foot. And take a peek down at your feet. Hopefully you're barefoot. If you didn't catch the drift that you need to be barefoot for this. There we go. Let's be barefoot. Take a look down and see if you feel, see if there's a difference between the foot that you just worked and the foot that you have yet to work. You may see a difference in color, maybe even in shape or blood flow, or just even kind of like an adjective of like more aliveness. And you may even feel a difference in how they feel. So if you just look straight forward and you think about, okay, how does the left foot feel in comparison to the right foot? Maybe you're putting more weight through one side. You feel wider. Like again, you feel that width in your base. And just taking a moment to notice how your feet are articulating to the floor. That's building the brain map that we talked about, the proprioception. All right, so probably worth doing the other side. Let's get after it. The ball comes underneath. We're going to do the exact same thing. So now you know the drill. We're just going to go foot release, stomp the foot. And remember these warm-up drills that we do, especially at the beginning of this class, even if you take the first 5 minutes of class and you implement these drills as a warm-up for your day, kind of set your feet up for success. So rolling with the bottoms of your feet. And again, if you find a sweet spot, you're like, oh, that's a little tender. I'm going to spend a little bit longer there. Yep. And then let's bring the ball to the metatarsal heads or the
ball of your foot. And we're gonna wrap the toes around the ball like you wanna grab it. And then release. And try to flare your toes as much as you can. Tighten over the top of the ball and then flare. Tighten and flare. Nice. Tighten and flare. Let's go 3 more, please. 2 more. Notice that when you tighten, there gets a little bit of lift in your arch here. That's the idea. Working the intrinsic muscles of your arch of your foot, straightening the bottom of the foot. Good. We're gonna roll that ball away. Barbie high heel, and then lower down. Barbie high heel, and lower down. Remember, you're pushing down into the ground to lift the heel up. A little different than a calf raise, but it's similar. I want you to try to pull the arch up. Good, one more time. Pushing down through the toes. Keep that big toe down. Sometimes I see that happen. So keep that big toe down. Good. And then foot stretch. So we're gonna go toes back. Let's scoot back a little bit for this. Toes behind you, toenails down. And you're gonna rock from the big toe side to the little toe side. The more body weight you put through that, the bigger the stretch. So just modulate that out for what you need. And then if you want more of a stretch, you just come closer to the other foot. Good. And then let's go ahead and stomp that foot out. Let the vibration come up through the foot. You can kind of stomp on the ball of the foot, stomp on the heel, stomp on the whole foot together. Yeah. And then go ahead and take a lap around your room and see how your gait feels after a little bit of that footwork. Walk around the room. Try to feel the articulation of your foot on the ground, the wideness of your foot, the width of your foot. Wideness, the width. There you go. Beautiful. All right, and then let's have you come back to your station. You can do this next exercise. I recommend standing, but you can also do it seated, no problem. All right, using a table, a chair, or maybe a wall next to you. Calf raises. We did these last week. We've done them for a couple weeks, actually. We're gonna lift up onto the balls of the feet and then lower your heels back down. Now, when you lower the heels down, I want you to try to keep a little bit of the work still in the forefoot. I'm gonna do the close-up again. Still in the forefoot. So as you lift up, you're coming up, and then lower down, but try not to rock your weight backwards. So even when your heels come down, you're still sort of biased in the front. We're gonna come up and then slowly lower down. You just tap the heel down and then come back up again. Tap the heel down and come back up again. As these become a little bit more easier for you, because I know some of you have been doing these for a couple of weeks, if you have a step available to you, either now or when you do these on your own, you can start to do these off the edge of a ledge. That'll increase the challenge. Good, tapping the heel and lifting up, good. And then another reminder, remember when we come down and come up, we wanna try not to go out onto the edges of the pinky toes, keep your weight on the big toe side. Good. All right, you got 3 more because my calves are starting to burn, so yours might be 2. Yep, 1 more time. Beautiful. And
release. Shake out those ankles. We're gonna go wide base through your feet. Toes are still facing forward. So when you have a really wide base through your feet with the toes forward, you're gonna get a stretch on the outside of your ankle. Okay, hopefully you can feel that a little bit. Even more so now, I want you to try to put the weight on the outside of your foot. So you're trying to lift the arches off. Okay, this is called inversion. You don't have to remember that, but for those of you that like that nerdy anatomy component of class, here it is. Inversion. Good. And then flatten out your ankles, flatten out your feet. Now try to come onto the inside part of your ankle and lift the outside part of your foot. Not to go knock-kneed, but to just rock into the inside part of your foot. That's called eversion. Eversion, E-V-E-R-S-I-O-N. So we're going to go inversion to the outside of the foot. You get a stretch on the outside of the ankle, and then inversion and then eversion on the inside of the foot. Work through that a few times. Rock out, rock in. And I'm just doing it with my hands. You can do it with your hands too if that helps you visualize. Out and in. Yeah. Out and in. So again, this is the ankle mobility and accommodation component of balance. So if you're walking on uneven terrain, can your ankle accommodate for those different surfaces without putting the whole system off kilter? Can you accommodate at the ankle joint so that it doesn't throw you like the Leaning Tower of Pisa as a unit? Okay, one more time. Good. And then walk your feet back in. Beautiful. All right. We're going to do your calf raises again. This time though, I want you to bias one foot. We did this last week. So we're going to come up on both feet and then weight shift into your right leg, either keeping both feet down and just getting a weight shift, or you completely lift the other foot off and then lower the heel down. So we're going to do both feet lift, weight shift, or lift the other leg and then lower down. Okay, so we're going to do a bias. We're going to do 10 on each side. Use a wall or a chair to help you balance. I like doing this one facing a wall, frankly. Very nice. Good. We're going to go 3 more on this left foot. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Shake it out, march it out. So the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go up on both, weight shift onto, I don't know what side we're on, the left, lower down, weight shift, both, over and lower down. You can do this also in the chair. It looks the same if you're just seated. That was 3, 4. Bonus if you can look forward and do this, huh? 5. Let me bring your eyes up. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Nice job. Walk around the room. Make sure you get your 10 in. If I went faster than you, finish up your 10. Stay accountable. All right, for this next exercise, you need a wall. Let's see if I can frame this. Ah, yeah, that'll work. I know my head's cut off. All right, so you're going to stand perpendicular to a wall. So let's have one, I'm not going to micromanage which side you start with. One shoulder to the wall. And you're going to go really, really wide base here. One shoulder to the wall and a really, really wide base. Yeah, actually, Bill, that's perfect. Now we're going to lunge or weight shift into the leg that's away from the wall. So come away from the wall. Come as far down as you can. Maybe you touch your shin with both hands, or maybe you even touch your foot with both hands. Now we're going to push off that leg and reach up on the diagonal. So you're going to rotate the trunk and you're going to touch the wall with both hands. Carrie already knew where I was going with this, smart girl. So we're going to go down, touching the calf, the ankle, the foot away from the wall, rotate towards the wall, touch the wall with both hands. Okay, you're putting something up on that shelf there, Bill. Reach your arms up, tap down and through. Now we're going to do this for another 25 seconds. If you would like to go faster than me, go for it. That's going to push your vestibular system a little bit more, right? If you're looking down at your foot every time and then up on the shelf every time. Again, we're going to go for about 15 more seconds. You choose how fast you can go. There you go, all the way down and then rotate and reach. Nice job. 4 more, 3 more, 2, and 1. Nice job. Switch to the other side. My little room is proving difficult to have depth in the video. All right, wide base. We go out to the foot that's away from the wall. Look down at your foot, make eye contact with your toes, and then up, twist. Both hands come up high on the wall. Try to get your arms to come up as high as you can. Beautiful. Weight shift down. Get your butt down. That's it. And reach. Putting something up high. Bill, reach for your canoe. Put something in the canoe. There you go. That's it. Very good. Weight shifting, right? Over from one foot to the other. You got 10 seconds. Moving at a pace that makes sense for you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Good. Walk around the room. Take a moment. Catch your breath if that brought your heart rate up. We're going to do that one more time on each side. I'm going to add a level of challenge should you choose to accept it. All right. So if we have our wide base here, when you come down into your lunge, what I saw a lot of people do, you were bowing over at the waist. What I would like to see a little bit more of is bending at your knee joint. So get your butt down and come down. So some of you may be able to even feel maybe like your belly or your ribs come down onto your thigh. Okay. Second level up option is when you come up to reach up onto that shelf, I want you to rotate and pivot through that foot. Get up on those toes that we just worked so hard on. And then you'll pivot that foot and drop back down again. Okay. Go ahead. We're going to go 30 seconds. Ready, set, go. If you haven't already started. 30 seconds. I'm going to give you some feedback, whatever I see. There you go. Carrie, reach up higher. You got a high shelf there. There you go. Nice. Awesome. Eileen, reach higher than that picture frame. That's it, girl. Nice job. 15 seconds here. Weight shift. Get your butt down. Pivot off those toes. Some of you are like, hey, this is like my PWR class. Nice job. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Take a moment, shake it out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, okay? Same level up options. So getting low in your knee, bending your knee so your butt comes down, and then pivoting off that toe, reach your arms up high. Whenever you're ready, well, not whenever you're ready. We're going to start 3, 2, 1, go. Timer's on. 35 seconds, 30 to 35 seconds. There you go. Get those arms up. Weight shift over to one side, pivot off that toe, push. There you go. That's it. And doing this next to a wall is really nice because it gives you that feedback of like, okay, reaching out on the diagonal. Gives you a little bit something more to reach into. There you go, Adam. Nice. We're going to go for 4 more seconds. 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Nice job, everyone. Great work. Go ahead and walk around the room, shake it out. We're going to come down to the floor next. So start making your way down. Grab some water if you need to. All righty, we're going to actually start laying on our side today. So once you get down to the floor, go ahead and lay on one side. Your legs are going to be out long underneath you. And you can either use a real pillow or make a pillow with your bottom arm. And if you want me to give you feedback, make sure that your camera is still aimed at you, if that's possible. I mean, I'm happy, you can do whatever you want, but if you want feedback, yeah. So once I get on the floor, everyone disappears like below their camera. I'm like, okay, I'm teaching to the curtains. Alrighty, so we're gonna bring that top arm, reach it all the way up overhead. We're gonna get going, and if you're not quite settled yet, don't worry, you can just jump in when you're ready. Good, our arm all the way up overhead. And I want you to dorsiflex your feet, so pull the tops of your feet towards your shins. We're gonna go elbow to knee. Good, in this position here, you may feel a little weeble wobble. So if that's you, just know that this bottom leg is what is balancing you on the floor. Go ahead and go reach open overhead, elbow to knee, staying balanced on that bottom side. You got it. Reach open and close. It's like a little crunch on this side. Reach and pull. Awesome job. Big jazz hands. Open up your fingers when you're reaching and then pull. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. Release. Stack the legs. We're going to take your top hand and place it on the floor. This is going to prevent you from rolling forward. Okay. Float your top leg up. It might feel heavy already. Dorsiflex your foot if you've lost that. We're going to kick your leg forward. Try not to let it get droopy. Kick it forward. And then point your toe and sweep it backwards. Flex your foot, kick it forward, point your foot, sweep it backwards. Okay, we're just lying on the floor, horizontal, single leg walking right now. Good, but we're balancing on one foot while we're swinging our leg, yeah? Great. Now, as the leg comes forward and back, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm already starting to get smoky in this hip. Your body is going to want to do some things. It's going to maybe want to like fall forward or fall backwards. Try to keep yourself tidy. And it's just the leg moving around in space. If you want to level up, put that hand on your hip. You might feel that weeble wobble factor a little bit more with your hand on your hip. Good. And we're going to go for about 10 more seconds. You choose how fast you're moving that leg. You got it. Nice. And we're going to go for 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Nice work. And rest. Place your top hand on the floor. Bend your knees up. Push off the ground. Keep that skill in your body. Never lose that. Switch to the other side. fancy transitions, right? But I could have just rolled over. Yeah, you could have. All right, so we're going to dorsiflex both feet, arm up overhead. We started with the elbow to knee touch. Notice how active the foot is. Is your foot as active as mine? Yes, good. Always active feet and hands. Open fingers, open toes. There you go. That bottom side of your body is balancing you. There you go. Nice job. We're going to go 3 more of these, side lizard. It's called 3, 2, and 1. Top hand comes down to help balance. If you need it, you bring it. If you don't need it, put it on your hip. Float the foot, dorsiflex the foot, toes to nose. Kick forward. Don't let your foot get droopy. And then point and swing it backwards. Flex and kick forward, point and swing back. Flex, kick forward, point and swing back. You got it? Same as last time? Good. Now you're balancing through the underside part of your body. That becomes more apparent when you bring your hand on your hip. Yeah, try not to let your body roll. Keep it really tidy. Lots of core. We're going to go for 3 more kicks. 2 more kicks. Last one. You got it. Nice work. Bend in. We're going to pull the knees up. Press yourself up to sit. And then bring your legs out in front of you. You can have your hands pressed back behind you, opening up your chest. Okay, we're going to do a movement with our body and our spine, and we're going to follow that movement with your eyeballs. So your eyeballs are going to mimic what your spine is doing. Round your spine and sort of sag in your shoulders. Similarly, take your eyeballs down your cheekbones towards your belly button. And then we're going to take our eyeballs to the top of their sockets, look up, and turn yourself inside out, coming into extension. You can lift your chin, and the eyeballs come up through your eyebrows. Eyeballs come down to the cheekbones, round your spine, come into flexion, so rounding the spine. And then eyeballs come up, coming into extension, eyes to the ceiling or beyond. Flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Good. One more time. Flexion and extension. Very nice. And then come on down to the floor, all the way onto your back. We're going to have your feet flat on the floor and your knees bent. Your hands can either be on your hips for some feedback or flat on the ground. I'll let you choose. Sometimes touching your body is good for that, again, that proprioception, that mapping of where your body is in space. Because sometimes, right, sometimes the way we perceive our body is different from reality. And so that self-touch helps us understand and kind of like close that gap a little bit. Okay, little side note. All right, let's go into a bridge. We're going to press your hips up into a high bridge. I will say, once you're in your bridge, try not to look over at the screen, okay? Because that's not so great for your neck. If you need to look over at the screen, bring your hips down and then take a peek. All right, but we're going to look up at the ceiling, press your hips up into that high bridge, and then tap your hips back down onto the ground. Press the hips up and tap the hips down. Good. Simple, right? We're going to do 2 more there. And then finish with your hips up towards the ceiling. Listen to my voice. Don't look at the camera. Your hips are still up. We're going to rock up onto the balls of the feet. So you're going to do a calf raise while holding your bridge. Lower your heels back down and then lower your hips back down.
Okay, we got that? So you're gonna go bridge, calf raise, lower the heels, lower the hips. Bridge, calf raise, lower the heels, lower the hips. Bridge, calf raise, lower the heels, lower the hips. Bridge, calf raise, lower the heels, lower the hips. You got 3 more here. Bridge, calf raise, lower the heels, lower the hips. One more time. Bridge, calf raise, lower the heels, lower the hips. Nice job. Separate your feet to about mat width apart or a little wider, and then let your knees drop off to one side. And then let your knees drop off to the other side. So you're just letting your knees fall right to left, right to left. Yeah. Should feel good. Should feel good after a little bit of work. All right, we're going to do another set of bridging. We're going to do the opposite now. So when you're in your bridge, you're going to do a toe raise. So you'll rock into the heel and lift your toes up. Dorsiflexion, toes to nose. So it'll look something like this unless you feel like you're good to go. Let's do it together. So we'll press the hips up, lift the balls of the feet, lower the balls of the feet, and then lower your hips back down. Lift the hips, lift the toes, flatten the toes, and lower back down. Hips, toes, toes, hips. Nice work. Hips, toes, toes, hips, hips, toes, toes, hips. You got 3 more. Stay with me. Hips, toes, toes, hips, hips, toes, toes. Do we hate my voice yet? And down, last one. Up, toes, toes, and hips. Nice job. Widen out your feet, rock your knees right and left. Should feel good. Bring out your spine, bring out your hips. Very good. All righty. From here, roll off to the side, press yourself up into sort of a side sit position, and let's come onto our hands and knees. I'm just looking at my notes. Yep. And come into a hands and knees. There you go. Don't lose that skill either. Keep that skill in your body, that rolling over. All right. So as best as you can, try to get your toes to tuck underneath so that your toe pads are sort of on the floor. That's why we stretched our toes out earlier. Yeah. And we're going to do some rocking. So hips come back over your heels. You may feel a greater stretch in that foot, and then rock forward. Rock back and rock forward. Simple. Now continue rocking here, but I want you to now look around the room. Find something in your room that has the color green, for example. Yeah. Then next, find something in your room that has the color blue while you're rocking. Now we're multitasking, right? Find something in the room that has the color yellow. That's going to be hard for me. Oh, I see. Yeah, you may have to look behind you, remember. Find something in your room that has the color red. Oh, red, red, red. I don't have a lot of red. I don't really enjoy the color red that much. Oh, there we go. There's the red. Good. And find something in the room, maybe the color purple. I don't know how much decor that we have that's purple. Oh, we have a mat that's purple. That was easy. Yeah, good. All right, we're going to take your toes. Now flatten out your feet so that the laces are down and tap out the tops of your feet. Question, challenge.
Can you sit your hips back over a flat foot? So laces down foot. Some of you, you're like, what's the big deal, huh? Some of you are like, oh my God, these feet. Rock back forward, tuck your toes. Rock back, sit on the tops of your heels. So you're sort of like on a pedestal. We're going to transition between those two. Rock forward, laces down, sit back. So again, ankle mobility, right? Forward, tuck the toes and drop under. Now see if you can do it without your hands. If that's getting a little too easy, do it without your hands touching the floor. Some of you are ready for that. Yeah. That's a true test for dorsiflexion, right? Pulling the tops of the foot towards the shins. Last one. Good. All right. Quick visit here into what we call bear or down dog. We're going to turn ourselves upside down, which is again is great for your vestibular system. So we're going to push through the toes and push through your hands to lift your knees up and come upside down. Maybe you look in between your thighs. Yep. And then gently rest your knees back down. Some of you I know probably do this more often than others. So if this is new for you, just give yourself some grace because it is a hard movement at the beginning. Go ahead and work through that for another 40 seconds or so. For those of you that do this often, try doing it with never letting your knees touch the floor. So you go up and then you go what's called a knee hover and then push back up again. Okay. Bring your eyes forward when you come down, eyes between the thighs when you come up into the inversion, upside down. Eyes forward, eyes upside down. Let's go 3 more. Good for your shoulders. 2 more. There you go. Last one. Lovely. Rest. Let the blood rush back out of your head. All right, we're going to come into a half kneel position. How we doing? Give me a thumbs up if you feel good or scuba signal. Okay, good. All right, so we go 1 foot out to the side. So half kneel actually traditionally is sort of more in line, but today we're going to be a little bit more out to the side. I want to say we did this last week. I can't remember honestly if it was this class or another class. So we're going to have one leg. It's going to be sort of at a 45-degree angle. We're going to take your inside hand towards the floor. Now, if this feels like a really far reach for you, we can put a block or a water bottle, something to just give you that stopping point. And then we're going to take our eyes on the free hand as we float it up towards the ceiling. Follow it with your eyes. Whoa. Bring that hand back down to your hip. Press yourself up. Now you're like a jolly leprechaun. Okay, so we're going to go down. Look at your hand. Follow it as it goes up towards the ceiling. There you go. The hand can come down, back on your hip. Jolly leprechaun or coach. Okay, couple more. Look at your hand. Find it low. Track it high. Track it back low. Hand on your hip. Come upright. 2 more, just like that on this side. Here we go. Hand down. Track it to rotate. Down and up. I want to watch the last one closer. Go ahead. Last one. Hand comes down. Rotate. Reach, reach, reach. You have a burning question up towards the ceiling. Yes. Bring it back down. And release. Excellent job, team. Wow, that looked really nice. Let's bring that foot back underneath and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now, if you're feeling a little bit kind of like dizzy with some of the head turns that we're doing, that's relatively normal. Remember, we're working that vestibular system. So anytime we change our orientation to gravity or we quickly turn our head, that's the vestibular system working for us. All right, so we have one hand down. We take your free hand, track it from low to high, back to low, hand on your hip, start. You got it. Hand comes down. Track low to high, reach, straighten out that arm. Bring it back low and then in. Good. I'm going to stay at this pace. If you feel like you can work at a different pace and still connect all those dots and still hit all of those corners, go for it. Drop, low, to high, to low. Good. And I'm kind of twinkling my fingers. I just kind of did that to like make the vision kind of like interesting, like, oh, twinkle fingers. Yeah. Let's do 2 more. I'll watch. Nice work. Carrie, you're doing the super advanced version. That's hard. Good job, girl. I know you were forced to do that, but that's good. Nice work. All right, team. I think that was your last 2. Yeah. Let's make your way up to your feet. We're going to finish with a few kind of sit to stand drills and variations. So you're going to need a chair. If you have, so if getting out of a chair is relatively easy for you, and you have something like an ottoman or a lower couch or a lower bench to work off of, that will challenge you a bit more. But if that's not really an option, then you can start with the chair and just work from there. Okay, so we're going to start seated. Hopefully you're in a chair that's lower than I am right now. We're going to just work on a normal sit to stand. We're going to stay at sort of base level sit to stand. So draw your feet underneath you, reach the arms forward and stand up. Go ahead and sit down. Just tap the chair. Don't rest too long and then come back up. Now, if your chair is like, this is too high, just work on an air squat. Okay. You can just work on your air squat. Let me see. Good. So tapping the chair and then standing back up. And I don't want you resting in that chair. So don't unweight through your feet. Just tap and then straight back up. Like, yeah, there you go. Like it's something hot or like you're sitting on something. You're like, oh, I got to get right back up. There's that reflex, right? Let's go 2 more. And last one. Perfect. Nice job. Grab your pen or pencil. And we're going to just do a quick convergence drill. Convergence is your eyes' ability to come into the center of your face and track an object that's drawing closer towards your face. Convergence. Okay. So I don't know. I've just gotten the habit of holding my chin with my other hand. So we're going to start about a foot or 2 in front of the face. Draw the pen or pencil, go towards your nose. Nice and slow. Allowing your eyes to come into the center of your face and then draw the pen or pencil away from your face. These are called pencil push-ups. So we pull in, allow the accommodation, focus, come as close as you can without seeing double or losing your object. You still want to see one object. Once you start to see 2 objects, you've gone just past that threshold, which isn't bad, but just know that that's not better. It's just you passed your threshold. So we go out. And I like to go to that threshold and kind of play with that area. Like I kind of do like little micro in and outs right at that end range, just to train my eyes to come in a little bit closer. Again, if this makes you dizzy or nauseous, that's relatively normal. It's sort of a sign that you hit your neurological threshold and you can just kind of take a break while we finish up our set. Good. Nice. Okay, pen or pencil down. Come back to your chair. Even if you did air squats last time, start with this first one in the chair. Okay, I'm going to show you the grand scheme and then I'm going to zoom in on my feet to clarify. So we're going to sit. I want you to cross your ankles. Cross your ankles over. And especially if you're barefoot, this is really great. So when you cross your ankles over, There's my balance. You're going to see this sort of movement in your ankle here, maybe. All right. When you come up to stand out of your chair, you will then flatten your feet and then sit down in the chair and come onto the edges of your feet and then stand and flatten. Okay, obviously the lower the surface that you're sitting down on, the harder it is. So if you're feeling like the surface that you have available today isn't cutting it, either find a new surface or you can just work on squatting down and standing up. Yeah, and remember, try not to sit on your chair, just a tap. Coming onto the edges of the foot and then squeeze those inner thighs. Let's go 3 more. Yeah, there you go, everyone. Nice. 1 or 2 more. Okay, now remember which leg is in front because we have to do the other side. So just remember real quick. Remember which leg's in front. Go ahead and uncross. We're going to do 1 more set of your pencil push-ups, and then we'll come back to do the squats on the other leg. Okay, same thing as before, no changes. If you know yourself to have a really dominant eye, make sure that that pen or pencil is actually coming towards your nose because sometimes it will sort of veer off towards that dominant side. So just be mindful of that. You're going to do about 10 cycles, about 10 forward and back. Good. Once you've done about 10, you can kind of rub your face, rub your eyes, give them a little massage. I think I have 2 more, but you do your 10, your set of 10. Great. All right. So we're going to do that cross-legged stand again. Yeah. Give those eyes a little massage. Cross-legged stand, make sure you're doing the other leg in front. So hopefully, again, you kept track of which leg you had in front. Go ahead and get moving on that. I want you to do about 10 of those sit to stands as well in that cross-legged position. You may need to sort of figure out that first one's always a little bit of a surprise. You're like, where do you want my feet? Yeah. Good. And you may notice maybe is one side different than the other? There you go. Good. And if you're knocking those things out, we need to find you a lower surface next week, right? Or air squat them. You're going to do about 10. And then when you're finished with your 10, walk around the room so that I know you finished. As you do your laps around the room or walk down the hallway, take a note on your gait. Do a little body scan for yourself. How is your body moving? How are your feet articulating with the floor? How's your stride length? How's the sound of your gait? How's your posture? Do you feel comfortable looking up when you walk now? If that's something that you don't normally feel comfortable doing. Looking around the room, playing I Spy with yourself. Find something red. A little multitasking while you're walking, right? Because balance isn't just about standing on one leg for a minute. Balance is about being able to hold your center of gravity or recover your center of gravity while doing other things or being distracted or looking around in the environment, right? Good. All right, so find back to your station, either seated or standing. If you do want to come down to the mat, you can do that. We're going to do our 30-second reflection. It's just 30 seconds of quiet. You can either turn off your camera or leave it on. Just close your eyes and let your body absorb all of that information and all the experiences that you just had. Let that cross over from a temporary place in your brain over to a more permanent place. And usually we do this for 2 to 5 minutes, but today we're I packed a lot of stuff in, so we'll just go for about 30 seconds. I'm going to turn my audio off. Well done, everyone. Thanks for coming today. I'm going to turn off the recording. And if you have anything that you want to share or feedback for me, we can collaborate.